Hello, I would like to welcome you all to the 8th grade graduation of the Woodside Middle School class of 2006. My name is Culbertson, and I will be giving the Chiefs team portion of the graduation speech. My main focus will be our past experiences, while my counterpart, Christina Carthel, will be focusing more on the future. Living in this fast-paced world, where 3 years seems but a mere moment, we tend to overlook the small details of life. What many fail to realize is that these meager details are what separate us from everyone else. During our 3 years here at Woodside, or 1 or 2 years for those of you who joined us later, the class of 2006 has not only matured, but also grown in character as well as wisdom. When we first entered Woodside's doors, whether it be in 6th grade, 7th, or 8th, we felt excited yet reluctant. Excited about what was to come, and reluctant about what we were leaving behind. Woodside not only lived up to our expectations, but even surpassed them. The teachers and staff were beyond compare, the halls were accommodating, and even though the tests were less than delightful at times, we managed to survive. The friends we made, along with the relationships that we shared, will not soon be forgotten. Not only did we share the latest tidbits and school information with our friends, but also our hopes and dreams. They were the ones who we went to the dances with and hung out at the mall with for hours on end. Our friends always provided a shoulder to cry on, along with an encouraging word. Whenever we needed somebody, they were right there, ready to help at a moment's notice. As Woodside's class of 2006 gets ready to leave the building, we reflect on how we left our mark on Woodside Middle School. One way was through the tiles that are displayed on Woodside's ceiling throughout the school. Tile painting has been a Woodside tradition that is still carried on today. The students were allowed to choose what they wished to put on their tiles, and therefore express their individuality. Another way we left our mark was through academic events. Woodside's premier academic program is known as Academic Super Bowl. This year, the Language Arts Academic Super Bowl team, which contained 8th graders, placed first at their regional competition. Woodside's own Spellbowl team was able to place third in the Class 1 division. And the 8th grade Latin competitors, with the aid of those in other grades, were able to achieve third place at the state convention. This year's Alpha class won third place at the state Read People competition. And a third way the class of 2006 has contributed to Woodside over the years is through athletic events. Last year, the members of the 7th grade volleyball team were able to become conference champions after they won the conference tournament. This year, the cross-country team and the 8th grade volleyball team were both able to finish second in their conferences. For the second year in a row, Woodside's swim and dive team was first in their conference. And more recently, the Woodside girls soccer team remained undefeated and also claimed the conference championship as theirs. One of the defining moments here at Woodside, not to mention in our nation's history, were the attacks that took place on September 11th. Numerous adults chose to compare their whereabouts when they first realized that John F. Kennedy was assassinated to where the generations of today were when they were informed that the September 11th attacks had taken place. We first heard of the unfortunate news while we were taking our infamous ISDEP exams. Mr. Smith announced over the PA system that our country had been attacked by terrorists, both in New York City and Washington, D.C. We did not realize how serious these attacks actually were. After all, in our lifetime, we as a country have been fortunate enough not to experience any real attacks on our government. We had never experienced attacks on our American prosperity, and therefore had no idea how to respond. As the nation was trying to regroup as a whole, Woodside was regrouping as a school. Even though the September 11th attacks proved to be a terrible tragedy, they managed to draw us closer together. Not only did it draw us closer, but also helped us to mature in ways that we could never have imagined. We now know what it is like to have our freedom attacked, and have responded in the best way we know how, with dignity and hope for the future. Maturity and wisdom are not taught in textbooks, but rather through personal experience. As we move on to high school, we hope that Homestead will provide us with the same opportunities and experiences that Woodside Middle School did. Whether we resided here for 3 years or 1 year, it makes no difference. The memories we share, along with the unforgettable moments, will never be disregarded. As we continue to grow and mature, the class of 2006 will no doubt be headed for a successful and prosperous future. And as I prepare to leave this podium, I encourage you not to dwell on the past and what you are leaving behind, but rather to concentrate on the future and what it holds.